But I want to go, speaking of that, I want to go back to the history of buyer's agency, because I think the evolution of this is really important for people to understand.
This is Las Vegas Real Estate Now with local real estate expert Harvey Blankfeld.
Back in the early 90s, there were no buyer's agents. They were all sub-agents of the listing agent. Everybody worked for the seller.
Yep.
All their fiduciary responsibilities, no matter who they were working for or representing, well, they were only representing the seller.
Yep.
And then that's when they changed it and created what they call buyer's agency and buyer's agents, and they created the thing where they had the cooperative commission, and the buyer's agent was fiduciarily responsible to the buyer, not the seller or the listing agent, even though they were being paid by the listing agent. So why would you generate it that way? Here's why you did it. Because the seller's the one who's got the money at the end of the transaction. That's who's got the cash. So make it easier on the buyer to do it. That's how it evolved, guys. It wasn't, let's see if we can sneak this by the seller and make them pay the buyer. No, it just made perfect sense in terms of a marketing strategy for a house.
Right.
And that's how it went.
If you bring me as a listing broker, I'm the seller's broker. Yeah. If you bring me a buyer, I will pay you.
Yeah.
And it's a
I'll share my commission with you.
Known understanding.
Yeah.
And that's why buyer's agents drive around the city, work with somebody for 6 months on the IFCOM.
Yeah.
And that got stripped.
Yep.
So here we are. Now you got to sign up in advance. And I think on lower income pricing, we're going to go back to, it won't be now. It's going to be 2, 3, 4 years.
Yeah.
Right. You're going to see
somewhere down the road
sellers consistently offering.
Yeah.
Because they know the buyer's agent is driving around the city for 6 months, and they need to get paid.
I can tell you, I still see right now. I get some emails that come across that still say seller co-op on them, and I don't know.
I'm going to tell you,
and the seller can do that. Yeah. It's just more difficult to.
We just can't put it in MLS.
Can't market it. Right. Yeah.
But I'm going to tell you, there are sellers out there who want the buyer's agents to know, I'm going to help you.
Right.
I'm going to pay. And they're telling us, hey, Harvey, tell them. And I'm almost reluctant to do it because I say to them, listen, we don't want to offer any specific number because they may not want that much or need that much.
Right.
So let's just negotiate it within the transaction. That's been my approach with sellers. But if the market starts to change to more of a buyer's market, then I'm going to say, guys, we need to make sure we let them know we're helping. We're helping here, guys. And so it just becomes another strategy, another marketing strategy. And we see it on all the advertisement outside of MLS. You see it on the signs. You see it everywhere. Co-op
new home build.
Yeah, new home. Well, they're doing it for sure.
Right.
That gives they believe they have a competitive edge now, saying, hey, I'm going to pay that. And maybe they do to a certain extent.
Some of them just took it away too, so it doesn't. Whatever their philosophy was.
Yeah, they do. And and the other thing that the new builders do, which I think is pretty smart, is they're selling interest rates.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
They're buying down tranches of mortgages and selling them at a lower number, and that's what they're selling. And that's because that's what people are most concerned about these days.
Or the other theory is they're just overpricing everything, and they're getting the price, so it's not really overpriced, and they're using the money to buy down the rate. But
there you go.
That's pretty sound judgment.
Could be that way too.
Yeah, absolutely. I can't argue that for sure.
But at the end of the day, the consumer is getting what they want.
Well, that's the thing. Ultimately, that's what's happening.